I haven't come back for a long time. Is this even the Chao Tian Min that I knew when I was young?
It has changed. You haven't
Do
returned.
you know the Chao Tian Min when I was young? It was a wholesale market.
3 layers of traffic in the air, airplanes, cable cars, and light rail transit. 3 layers of highways on the ground, ferries across the water. Welcome to the 8-dimensional city, Chongqing. Xing Xing is riding his bike among the vehicles on a flyover. The subway that passes through a building brings Yuan Yuan to the place she wants to go.
Girls will never ignore any piece of mirror.
Nu Jiao Tuo.
Xiao Zhan in the taxi feels relaxed after returning to his hometown. Our 3 protagonists are traveling at different latitudes.
During my internship, I commuted to Nu Jiao Tuo daily. In the past, when I was squeezing in line 3, I always got pushed to the glass door. Then, below me was the Jiaoling River. You would be stuck there. People who are afraid of height would become dizzy, with legs trembling. But it was really beautiful. I remember what people said. Cheap restaurants and cheap stalls.
I'll bring you to eat Chongqing noodles tomorrow morning. You will never forget its taste after tasting it. Do you add a fried egg to Ganlu noodles?
Or, that's right. Ganlu noodles with a fried egg. I'm drooling.
I'll come to fetch you tomorrow morning.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
They wake up at 3 in the early morning. They cook noodles at 4. They prepare chili oil, huajiao powder, ground peanut, shallot, coriander, and sesame sauce. They wait for the earliest batch of taxi drivers. The owners of noodle shops and their first batch of customers wake Chongqing up.
Boss, 2 tails of noodles.
Okay.
I want 2 tails too. Add a fried egg for me.
Do you want chili?
Less chili.
In order to eat the bandeng noodles in his memory, Xiao Zhan woke up early in the morning. He comes with driver Zhang when it is still dark.
Please make the noodles harder.
Please make mine harder too. I'm hungry.
The noodles are not bad in the morning. In the morning, we usually have breakfast here.
What time does the shop normally open?
Normally around 3 o'clock.
They are open at 3?
They are open until 2:30 in the afternoon.
That's still a lot of work.
Noodles are here.
Thank you.
At first, Chongqing noodles were for poor people who couldn't afford meat. A tasty feast made by sauces. Tables and chairs are benches. A BMW owner and a tricycle rider sit together. This is a scene of Chongqing streets that hasn't changed for decades.
Mainly, I feel that this taste is not only a kind of taste. To an old Chongqing resident, it can be a kind of memory sometimes. A kind of reminiscence.
You don't know. I was eating noodles here that morning. I saw 2 people from another district who came to Chongqing for the first time. They ate mala noodles. The noodles were too spicy for them.
Look, my tears are coming out now.
They were just like you are now. They couldn't take it. Like, they shouted, ouch, why is it so hot? Tears were falling from their eyes. Like that. I asked, are you so sad after eating the noodles?
Yuan Yuan, 23 years old, is a young worker in the old crossdock industry. She's a veteran in Yuanqing Society, a local Chinese folk art troupe in Chongqing. She performs in Yanjiu bookstore, near the Liberation Monument. The cafe is her makeup room. The emergency exit is her practice room, and any table becomes her stage.
Let's applaud Son of a Friendly Yuan Yuan and Yu Zhenghao.
Yuan Yuan is a rare crosstalk actress. Girls are not good at expressing the unfailing vulgar puns in traditional crosstalk. This pushes her to look for a better way to perform.
The host said it just now. Previously, only men were performing.
Yes.
Now, it's different?
Why?
2 girls are performing for you here. Today, we are.
Naughty. What are you doing? Did you take it seriously? 2 girls can't do this.
Yuan Yuan is from Sichuan, which is in a love-hate relationship with Chongqing. She is very welcomed by Chongqing people.
Singing, talking, imitating, or joking, come on.
talking, imitating, joking, singing.
Great. Aren't you clapping? Each place has its own dialect.
I think that's nonsense.
Long-standing Chongqing dialect crosstalk, but it only became famous in TikTok 1 or 2 years ago. When Yuansheng Society performed, there were often more actors than people in the audience. Now, they finally have their first group of fans. Their work not only includes taking photos, to let her cheek be pinched becomes part of Yuan's work too.
I want to play Allegro Clapper there again.
Even after the audience left, the actors don't want to end their performance. The team is discussing enthusiastically while they're walking. Her partner, Yu Zhenghao, said he wanted to play Allegro Clapper in the street near the Liberation Monument.
I'll give him 0.2 yuan. 0.2 yuan. Here. Remember to pick it up. Can you see the strange gaze on the young man behind? He's giving an unusual look. He's ready to catch him anytime. Look, he's coming. Put a bowl here. I'll offer you money.
Go away.
Only 20-year-old men have this passion. There's never an end to his performance, because the dream is part of his life. Roads in Chongqing have uphills and downhills. Motorbikes are the most convenient mode of transportation here. In its pride, half of the country's motorbikes were made in Chongqing. It was in the lead in Southeast Asia. Thus, Chongqing is also known as the city of motorbikes. Xing, a bike lover, likes to drive up South Mountain with old friends most. Xing imagines himself to be a wanderer who explores everywhere, but his daily life is actually like this. Xing, who looks rough and domineering, is actually a typical Chongqing guy who is afraid of his wife.
I can say that I've never combed someone else's hair in my life.
His status in his family is a steward.
Seriously, look at my bald head. Do I need to comb? Oh my god, it's oversteamed. Liang Xiaokuai, I'm sorry. I oversteamed your water chestnut cake.
No.
See which one you want to eat. Hurry and eat.
Why? Annoying.
Why are you eating like this? You took 2 bites and left them there. Just eat. I'll eat them after you're done. My breakfast every day depends on what you've eaten. Bye. Come here, don't run. Give me a kiss.
No.
Xing, 43 years old, once studied in Paris. Now he's the boss of an advertisement company.
This is oil for my beard. People used to say, the man without a beard can't do things well, and I hoped. If you have a beard, you might look more trustworthy. Now my beard is all over my face, it's so troublesome. I need to take care of it every day or else, my beard would get dirty. I feel that I won't be able to go out and meet people.
Don't be cheated by Xing's rough appearance. Actually, he's an elegant rough guy. On his balcony, Xing, old Chongqing resident, witnesses the growth of new Chongqing.
Kixingang is incorrect. Instead, say Qixinggang.
In order to prepare for their final performance at the year end, Yuan and Yu Zhenhao come to the old town to look for old stories about Chongqing.
Tong Yunlu. I think they made that later.
We are going to Chiki Gate, right?
So, the 5 towns in Old Chongqing were from Yuzhong district. It's like the shape of a mouth.
Why don't you play your Allegro Clapper here? Take a photo and play your Allegro Clapper.
Hardworking Yu Zhenghao starts to play Allegro Clapper again.
I finally see Yuan.
But Yuan is the one who meets her fan. What a life.
So cute. You're really cute.
Don't. I came to visit these landmarks, to have a look at these city walls, and look for some historical stories, and write my script. Why is here a fan? I didn't do my makeup today.
9 stars and 8 trigrams inspired Chongqing's 9 open and 8 closed gates.
Is the golden purple gate still here?
Now, many city gates have been demolished. Yet the 8 trigrams maze has become a feature of this city.
Don't frighten it.
There's one in front of the golden purple gate.
Asking for directions is a must in this mountain city, because Chongqing is a city that will make navigation systems cry. Usually when the navigation system says you've arrived, you're actually 3 floors away from your destination.
Is there an alley here?
There is.
Is there?
Go inside.
In the maze of this mountain city, there are many tunnels like wormholes that link different latitudes.
My arms and legs.
Any unremarkable entrance can bring you to a different height.
Let's ask.
Their last stop is Chao Tianmen Dock.
Are you okay?
Suddenly, they see a rare scene in Chongqing's winter. Golden sunlight appears in the sky.
When people from other districts come to Chongqing, they mostly visit the wonders in Chongqing. Like those ups and downs, you can't see them outside of Chongqing. But actually, when you're in Chongqing, you don't see most of them. Whether it's a performance or a landmark,
There were 20 on chance.
they are rare. So I used to complain about this city where I live. I said that Chongqing was like a shell. What we are doing now is to give it a soul.
You praise yourself suddenly.
What we are doing now is to give this shell a soul.
Chao Tianmen is the biggest dock in Chongqing's history. It looks like a huge boat that sails through winds and waves. In the past few hundred years, when people from other districts traveling upstream saw the marvelous Chao Tianmen after a long journey, they knew that they had reached a huge dock. They knew that a bigger stage was waiting for them.
The old town meets the new town here. It feels strange. During my summer holiday, I came here to study art. I stayed at the Sichuan Fine Arts Institute. This is the back street. It's been a long time. It's been many years since I came here. People said the Sichuan Fine Arts Institute was about to be demolished and they would move to University Town. It's quite sad actually. Jiaodong Tea House is still here. This used to be a cyber cafe. I used to surf the internet here. Time flies. Whose trotter soup is really nice. I would eat it whenever I came. They still have a queue now. I was in a studio up there. Fuxing Building. There are up to 100 studios. Inside there. Very scary. The street looks the same.
Yang Xiaozhan. Coming to Huangjuping was like entering the place where his dream began. Xing only goes to Brother Qi in Mayabiliang Deduku when he needs to fix his bike.
Brother Qi.
Are you fixing a police bike?
Not bad.
Your place has become a special repair spot.
This is also a meeting place for them, the riders.
There's still noise when I turn right. Is there a sound when you brake?
There's a sound when I brake, but it's not so annoying.
It does look good after you installed this. They look like toys in your hands.
Brother Qi can find out the problem of the bike just by hearing its sound. He's one of the best mechanics for local police bikes.
It looks nice.
Xing sees a bike that is the same model as his. He feels excited as if he sees a hero like himself.
2 Euro bikes. A reunion of 2 brothers. So comfortable. He changed the handle. He changed it into an old handle. Great. He even changed the speaker. This is also hedonism.
Brother Qi was an electrician in CISC. He began to play with bikes in the 1980s. He's also a senior who Xing admires.
I can say that apart from you, I don't know who else to seek.
The repair shop that hasn't changed for decades is like a time tunnel in the city. Xing likes to come here because he can recollect his childhood memories here.
I stepped on the brake a few times, no problem. Let's improve the pad.
I'll fix it later.
When are you coming?
This repair shop used to be a supply store for CISC in the 1970s. The building is older than Xing.
Let me have a sip of your tea. Your tea is really... Your tea is what I come to drink.
Repairing the bike is secondary to drink Brother Cheese tea, and chat with him is Xing Xing's main purpose here.
Your tea reminds me of my childhood. The workers in my father's factory used to drink compressed tea. It feels good.
There are many time tunnels reminiscent of old Chongqing. They are distributed in the mountain city. For example, Brother Jun's bookstore on Sanjiao Road. This railway was used for trains to turn around, but it's an outdoor cinema on weekends now. Brother Jun's bookstore has some kind of magic. Cats and dogs nearby like to come to play here and don't want to go home. So there are 3 cats and 3 dogs staying here. When the neighbors walk by at night, they would bring some food to feed them. You can't differentiate between customers. And Brother Jun's friends here, they don't want to leave even when it's time to eat because they can eat the noodles cooked by Brother Jun. In the evening, Xiao Zhan comes to Brother Jun's bookstore.
Hello. This place is so wonderful.
You might be familiar with those house number signs.
There are Zaya Shuichi, Wangjuping, Shibati. So, you collected all of these?
Yes, it's both the name of a place and a witness of Chongqing's history. Look at this. You must know this very well.
Chongqing language. Birdie. Dragonfly. You're welcome.
We always begin with, "You're welcome," when we speak.
Yes, you're welcome.
Later, we realize that Chongqing language they are holding now is written by Xing Xing. People who like to explore the memory of this city will eventually encounter.
Have a seat outside.
Okay.
Here. Have some black tea.
Handsome guy.
You look familiar.
Familiar?
You look familiar, but I can't recognize
He
you.
thought he might know you.
I think you look familiar.
I have a normal face. Do you live nearby?
No, but it's quite near. This place is close to where I used to work. But I didn't know this place. I knew this place after opening the bookstore. Have a seat.
I'm going back.
I think everyone feels free here.
They are very kind. They even feed the dogs. They would bring food for the dogs, because they are all stray dogs. They live nearby. How long have you left Chongqing?
About 5 years.
The first thing when you're back, have you eaten the hot pot?
I ate it yesterday, and I had diarrhea.
You should drink some lime tea.
I still have diarrhea now. I even have a sty. When I woke up this morning, it was so bad.
Have you eaten noodles?
Yes, this morning.
I think Chongqing noodles are really good.
I think this place is like, when I was young, of course it was not here. Like where I lived when I was young. The houses were like that too. Like those cottages. Also, at night, people would gather in a place too. Then, they would chat. Kids would play around. We used to play nearby when we were young. Then, our parents would chat, play card games, or drink tea.
Your parents were like us back then, right?
Like now.
How old are you?
Now, I'm 28. I'm no longer young either.
Among us, you're still young.
Have a seat.
Brother Jun's friend Xiang Xiang comes to give him a book.
Thank you.
Both of them are prominent figures among Chongqing's history and geography hobbyists.
Give me a bottle of Tianfu Cola.
You also want Tianfu Cola every time, right?
The Tianfu Cola filled with childhood memories once disappeared. It has returned only in recent years.
Barbecue brazier?
Okay.
I'll set it up immediately.
Let me help you. I remember we used to light up a fire outside too. Then, we grilled sweet potatoes.
The fire smells nice.
You're welcome. Brother Jun, are you here every day?
Mostly here.
He's mostly here.
I think this is good. It feels like...
You've come back?
Yes. I've got familiar people around me.
Feels like our generation in the 1970s or 1980s.
Yes. Be careful of your hands.
I know.
This cat is so nice.
This is a stray cat too.
Mimi. It's happy now. It starts to fall asleep. It's happy. Are you happy, Mimi?
When you were staying in Yudong, what were you most interested in?
Actually, we stayed near the river. For example, after we finished our classes, we would play and swim in the river. There was a dugout. We played around there too. I remember that the dugout, when I was young, was the place where people nowadays go to cool off. Whenever I passed by the dugout, it was piercingly cold.
The dugout in Yuzhong District consisted of hospitals, schools, and factories. In 1943, there were only 420,000 people in Chongqing, but the capacity of the dugout was 445,000 people. Overall, it was like an underground city. A lot of people don't know that we liked to go into the dugout when we were young.
It sounds so good, that feeling. It feels like the underground city and warrior.
And the stories within. If you're interested, we can visit it tomorrow.
Okay. I stayed in other places for 10 years, whenever there was a festival.
The movie being played in the outdoor cinema tonight is an Italian movie, Life is Beautiful.
This movie is about paternal love.
Yes. So touching. I can't really remember what it says. But I remember that he's doing it for his daughter.
Do you think your father has more influence on you, or your mother has more influence on you?
My father has influenced me more. My dad has influenced me more.
My father has influenced me more too.
Sometimes, a father's love for a child isn't as well expressed as a mother's love for a child. He sort of hides it, but it's more like a love, communicated from heart to heart.
You're right, from heart to heart.
Like my father, he always treats me. In my memory, since childhood, I don't think my father has expressed himself explicitly, like saying I miss you or I love you.
No.
Only my mother would say them. But I can always feel that my father cares about me with his actions. For example, when I was attending the university, he would check on my living expenses.
Normally, the father would bring it up first, right? I asked him if his allowance was enough, like I did with my kid. My mother would ask, "You spent them all again?" My father would say, "Just give it to him." The father is more generous.
Chongqing men are well known for being scared of their wives. Yet Chongqing men are proud of themselves. Because being scared of their wives means that they love their wives and children. A representative of those who are scared of their wives, Xing Xing, appears among the men and women who are waiting for their kids.
Louder.
99.
90. Wow, it'd be best if you can score 100 marks 10 or 20 times.
The questions were easy.
The more often you score 100 marks, the happier I am. D. Underneath. Seabed. Poles. Railings. Longon means railings. It doesn't mean a blue pole. 3, 4, 5, 6. What a mess. Why are the questions like these? All nonsense. How can you count the people in each house?
The happy moment doesn't last long when he's tutoring his daughter. Xing Xing gets angry quickly because of the confusing questions.
Mommy, I don't understand what Daddy is explaining.
Okay.
You should answer how many more houses there are. You can't answer how many more people.
This tricky situation can only be handled by the mother.
They are asking for the total number of people.
How are they asking for the total number of people? Then I would ask you how many people there are in a house. Read the question carefully. Did they tell you how many people there are in a house?
You can estimate.
It's not about estimation. You're teaching a kid now. Now, can we launch a rocket just by estimation? Can we simply assign a number?
Go out.
Xing Xing, who was kicked out by his wife, comes to see his beloved collection.
This is an old gramophone. Look at this. This was made in Japan. It's really old. It's older than me. It's an old Columbia.
Probably influenced by Chongqing's anti-Japanese history, Xing Xing is a military enthusiast. He's collected many old items from the Second World War.
This hole isn't very good. It's in. I'll place it there. And wind it up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. That's why I had to count. I counted. Because it's an old winder. It's too old.
This decades-old record can still play American pop songs in the Second World War.
This sound is about 100 years old, at least a few decades old. I guess the singer has already passed away. I like this most in my collection. You can start filming when it starts moving. You can see from here. This is a video editor. It's like Premiere that we use now. There is a very old spy camera. Spy camera. When I saw this device, I felt that it was so pretty. I always think that there is a principle when I collect this kind of thing. I'm not the owner of these machines. I'm only their custodian. In the future, they might be passed on to another person. When it's passed on to another person, it's remarkable if this can be passed on. Intelligence produced them, no matter what it is for. It sounds so good. Sometimes, when I'm alone, I would put these things out on the floor. Look at them slowly. Something like, have you watched The Lord of the Rings? It feels like when a goblin sees the ring. Back then, my expression might have been a bit greedy.
Old items are passed down by their guardians, just like how the soul of a big city is preserved through the memories of ordinary people. During a winter afternoon, Yuan Yuan and Yu Zhenghao brought their costumes and rode the subway for a long time to their performance location. The troupe is busiest right before the new year. There are multiple company performances every week. Yuan Yuan almost lost her voice. Seeing Yuan Yuan feeling down, Yu Zhenghao took out a golden hoop to cheer her up.
Back then, you put it on. How did the line go?
You are my son now.
Is that how the line went? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we're here to perform a crosstalk segment, but we're not just here to talk.
We'll make introductions.
Right, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Li Yuan Yuan. This is my partner. Chongqing's infrastructure is really good now. Performing at the year-end banquets is entirely different from that at the theater.
The performers on stage carry on with the show, while the audience networks amongst themselves. This is a challenge every new performer needs to go through. This is also the cost Yuan Yuan needs to pay after pursuing her dream as her career.
I already set up the joke for you. I thought you were going to say another part. My throat is so dry. I heard you, and I kept setting up jokes, but you didn't catch on.
Even though nobody watched the performance, the two young people still seriously reflected after. After the performance finished, Yuan Yuan took the subway home. Her tiredness showed through after changing out of her costume. The majority of people riding the light rail are locals like Yuan Yuan who work late. Xiao Zhan used to be one of them too.
The night view is really beautiful here.
The glittering night view is built by normal people like her who are working hard for themselves. The average person creates the magnificence of a city. She fell asleep on her bed without even taking her shoes off. She has another live stream at night. This is part of her daily work. After work, Yuan Yuan still needs to go on stage and conduct a live stream. She needs to put in double the effort.